Hello. Today is April 6th, 2024. Excuse me. I am prepared today to talk about an epidemic that no one really talks about. I haven't heard many rumblings about it, and so in that light, I'm a bit scared, and it's taken me a while to make this video, but nonetheless, I feel compelled to do it. I think that if this gets anyone to think about the secret epidemic, then that's a W for America, because after all, that is what I'm most concerned with. So we're gonna get straight to it here, and I'm gonna show you guys a presentation. Now, what you'll see here is cars, and they're not for kids, and cars are indeed the secret epidemic. So let's forge along here. I want to start off with the cold hard facts. I think we're not going to waste anyone's time here. We're going to get to the facts before we go anywhere else. Americans spend 101 minutes a day, which is 614 hours a year, or 25 days a year driving. To me, that is pretty outrageous. It more or less means that Americans spend 1/12 of their time driving. Not to mention, American families spend $5,000 on gas a year. That is pretty expensive when you take into account the median income is less than $50,000 a year in this country. It's a tenth of a family's income, more or less. And I just said, where does the time go? Which is a bit of a trendy TikTok or reel soundbite. But it encapsulates the feeling here, right? Like, where does the time go? We drive all day, every day. Well, not all day as you see here, but you get the idea. And we spend so much money, which also can sort of equivocate the time. These are a bit more sad, cold, hard facts. Car accidents are a big deal. You'll see here that this is very minor car damage that can occur from an accident. This is all exterior. It has nothing to do with the interior of the car. And you'll see that the prices here, and this is from just one insurance company, you'll see that the prices here are, not very cheap at all. When the range is $75, but it goes up to $1,200 plus, goes to show you're gonna be meeting somewhere in the middle of that, like $600. Cars are expensive to fix, that is, and if you don't have insurance, it's even worse. But obviously insurance is pretty much just a nasty gambit if you're into chess. Next, we get into some sad data about car-related deaths. 43,000 fatal crashes a year. That, to me, is, that is an epidemic. That's epidemic status. I don't know what else to say. USA Today published an article called Glimmer of Hope that these numbers are dwindling. To me, who cares? It's still 43,000 people. 3,500 of these are distracted driving. Now, distracted driving is something that is probably going to become more and more of a thing as we start to wear our Apple Vision Pros. So, expect these numbers to increase, if anything. We might have self-driving cars, but those are definitely not perfect yet. I don't know if you've seen clips of Teslas self-driving, but not in the way that we want. Next, we're going to shift focus to Detroit. I don't think much needs to be said, but this is an area of the country that has been absolutely decimated by cars in one way or another. So RIP to Detroit. I've been there myself. It's not very good. In many states, people can drive before other activities. My slides show making ability is fantastic, but I don't know. You hear this argument about cigarettes or alcohol, how you can join the military before you can do those things. But you can drive before you can buy cigarettes or alcohol. Just something worth keeping in mind, and this is a uniquely American thing. Next, we take a look at car psychology. I don't know about you, but my tendency for my driving experience to have at least a little anxiety is very high. This picture has absolutely nothing to do with. This is just a simple psychology image, but yeah. Every time I take the wheel, there's some sort of moment or instance while I'm driving where it's like, damn, that could have cost me my life or thousands of dollars at least. Each press of the brake pedal, something could go wrong. You know, we're relying on reliability here, ironically, and I don't know. For me, who likes to deal in absolutes, not very good. Reality check driving, 75 miles per hour on a 5-lane highway. I don't know if it's ever hit you guys, but it's like, holy shit, what are we doing here? This is almost like a man-made horror. There's nothing natural about it at all. So there's just a brief look into the psychology of car. Instances that anger. This is also related to psychology, but these are a bit more of their own special group, let's say. You'll see this image here, not taken by me, but yeah, I bet you've had that experience before too, if not something crazier. So we have some instances here. No turn signal. This is one of the most common and one of the most frustrating. You're driving behind someone. They start to brake and you're like, what in the world? Are they brake checking me? No, they're just turning, but they forgot to use their turn signal. Someone goes slow. It's a bit related to the no turn signal thing, but if you've got somewhere to be and you can't get around someone and someone's going slow, not very bad. Excuse me. Someone pull out in front of you. Now this one is actually quite dangerous aside from being angry at someone. This can lead to some very, very bad car accidents, but nonetheless, if it doesn't, you're going to be rendered feeling frustrated. I don't know why people do it, but they do it. Last second merge, this is sort of the same thing, but you'll see here in this image, it's not hard to imagine that there's another exit ramp, so to speak, and someone isn't realizing that they need to get over, and then they get over and you're right here. You know what I mean. No fun. Don't go immediately when light turn green. For me here, this is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Obviously, there are clips where it's like someone, the light has just turned green and someone lays the horn down on someone, but it's still quite frustrating because you know someone's just sitting there on their phone. And there's many, many more. For me, people like swerve and it's just like, it makes you have to react or like concentrate. That one's not fun. To me, all of these reveal that car indeed provide illusion of choice or freedom. To explain, I think that like many reasons, or one of the many reasons Americans like cars is because they get to say, oh, I get to choose where and when I go places. But at the same time, a mixture of all of these things show that indeed our choice and our freedom regarding cars is actually limited. If someone's going slow, your ability to choose when you go somewhere is hampered. So, Americans love cars. I was just talking about it, but in a world that is increasingly aware of climate change, we still drive. In a world that is meant to be explored and navigated, we still drive. In a world where lobbyists perpetuate industry over time, blinding society, we still drive. And here, this slide is meant to be the kicker, right? Like, in a world that is increasingly aware of climate change, we know that cars are not a big help to climate change. They may or may not be the number one reason. I guess it depends on where you look, but we're still choosing to drive here in America. In a world that is meant, and I have the scare quotes there for meant, because what really is meant to be. But the one thing that I can tell you is that using cars to get around places is one of the least fruitful ways that I've used to travel. When it comes from planes, boats, trains, walking, I've never ridden a horse, but I would imagine that that is quite fun. You know, there's an allure for me when I'm walking around a city that like I get to try and explore the city. I don't want to be driving while I explore the city, but we still drive. And then here, finally, this one is meant to be the ultimate sort of nail in the coffin, if you will, to cars. And to me, I just firmly believe that, you know, when it comes to how the highway expanded here in this country, a lot of this was done in the interest of the automobile industry. And I know I don't have any explanatory slides, but look it up for yourself. Is that an argumentative fallacy by me? Sure, but I don't give a fuck. The point is that automobile industry is a huge lobby in this country, and it perpetuates the way things are. You know, for the longest time, we've known climate change is something that we need to sort of deal with, and we're just now sort of moving to electric cars. And you know, we've seen states like California take action, probably in a way that angered automobile industry because they don't necessarily want to change to electric cars. And I know that's a whole can of worms to open, but still, I feel as if in many ways big powerful lobbyists on behalf of big powerful industries blind society in this way. And you know, it doesn't take long to look at things like high fructose corn syrup, or you get the idea, big pharma. You know, we're sold ideas about things, about how things can make life better, and yet I don't think that they really do. But in this case, we still drive, just like we still take pharmaceutical medicine, just like we still eat bullshit. And so that's the end of my TED Talk, I suppose. I just think that all in all, cars are something that detract from human happiness. Argue with me if you will, but that's how I feel. Now, if you've made it this far, I'm going to talk about my day. That's how these journals normally go. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't done a whole lot, other than read and eat breakfast. I'm about to head off to the gym here and truly get started with my day, but today's a rare day where I have off of school and work, so I'm sort of taking advantage of it and having a light and easy day. But yeah, this is meant to be a bit satirical, but at the same time just hopefully make people think in one way or another. That's why the presentation was a bit silly. But yeah, happy Saturday. Hope y'all's weekend has got off to a good start, and peace and love.